Okay, so let's start off with creating a grid. So I'm going to create a tunes raster level, and we'll call this grid. Hit OK. And I'm going to get my pencil tool and come over here and find my brush that I like to use, my pencil brush. I'm going to turn on this grid. This is just a guide. I'm just going to freehand grid right here. And I'm just going to make a 1-point perspective grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't have to be perfect. This will just give us some sense of perspective. Okay. And I'm going to bump the opacity down. And I'm just going to extend this down. I'm going to grab this little handle. I'm not sure how long this animation is going to be yet. So I'm just going to extend this down to like, I don't know, 73 frames. Okay, and I want to make sure my marker intervals are set to 8. So let's go to scene settings and set this to 8. Okay, that's better. I thought I had auto-saved that. There we go. Maybe that will help auto-save it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, besides making a grid, is just get my key poses down, okay? And so I'm going to call this rough. And select my pencil again. Okay, so I just want to get the poses that tell the story, okay? And these can change later. And I'm going to do a little circle up here to represent that this is a key pose. Okay, and then I'm just going to start drawing. And I'm thinking like, this kind of bean-shaped character. I saw it like in one of my sketchbooks, something similar, not exactly, but I kind of like this idea of just keeping it simple. So I know I want this foot up like this, and I know they need to be standing like this. Okay, something like that. And I'm just gonna do these center markers and this, yeah, expression. So I'm gonna work on this pose quite a bit. Okay, let me get these droopy boobies hanging down. Okay, so this is my first key pose. Okay, so I'm just kind of feeling out what my character's gonna look like. Yeah. Expression. Okay, so I just want it to be real clear. And then I think I want to have like a little hat and some hair like this, maybe. Yeah, just quickly throw some hair in. And so the bat, I don't want it to interfere with the hair. So I'm just gonna draw it up like this. And I always kind of do like a center line. And then I'll draw the shape around it like this. That way I can flare it out and, skinnier at the handle. And it gets wider up here. Okay, and then I might come in here, add the arms. Okay. So I'm just really kind of feeling out this pose. Maybe this twist. Okay. Okay. So I know I want to have them hit the ball, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, but I do know, it's going to have some kind of follow through. So, this this foot up here, well, let's get some kind of, this is the back, so maybe you see the booty a little. It's got this nice booty, and the head is twisting around. So I'm trying to think what that might look like. There's that hat. Maybe the hair would look like that. This arm is coming all the way around, and I think the bat, it might, it's going to follow through like this. Okay. And I can draw the hands a little bit. That left foot might be on the ground like this. And so this one might be fun, and it's up like this. Bam. Hits the ball. We could even push that a little more. Let's get this foot down. Get him leaning forward like this. So I'm thinking his weight might be over this leg right here. Bam. And then this foot has turned out like this. Bam. So maybe this arm, let's see. That's the arm over there. Maybe this one is that closer arm. Okay. So just trying to work it out. I'm just really kind of scribbling. Just trying to feel, because I want this. Bam. That's the swing and the hit. Okay, maybe you see their nose over there a little. Boom. And I'm not sure about, about the breasts yet. I know I want them to kind of swing around, and maybe you kind of see them like this, and then they swing back. I'm not sure yet, so I'll just rough that in right now. Okay, so this is a key pose, I would say. And then when he comes out of it, I'm going to have him take off running. Okay, so I know I want to have him in the air at some point. I'm trying to think about like changing shape. If they're in the air like this, okay, is this going to be a profile view, a 3/4 view? I think I want it kind of more of like profile view. And, maybe their eyes are, wide open. And then, maybe at this point, they threw the bat away. Maybe this hand is already in a fist for the run. You know what? Let's just get this one in a fist too. Like that. Okay, and if that backhand's forward, maybe this foot's forward. And this one's back. Okay, this is where I might have to think about it, because he's going to push. They're going to push off with that back leg. Okay, I'm going to reverse those. So, let's see, push off. No, I think that's fine. We might have to erase these and do it later. We'll see. We'll see how fast this goes, okay? And maybe the hair is up like this, okay? And I'm kind of imagining like they throw the bat and it's like, it flies off screen. Bam! Up. And I'm not sure about breasts. Since he's coming up, they might. They might still be dragging down. I'm not sure yet. That's going to take a little more effort later on. Okay. And then I'm thinking they're gonna run off screen, but when they land, I think I want to have change shape here. Okay, that's just kind of what I'm thinking. They're gonna change shape, and then this might be a key pose right here. So I definitely want to come back and work on that. And then if I can get them to kind of scrunch down like this, then on this one, maybe I can drag the head, stretch him out, and kind of lead with that, with the hips. Okay. The head kind of stays back a little. No, maybe they're like still super happy. Yeah. And the hair might, kind of start to drag. I'm not sure about the hat and hair yet. Just gonna rough it in. And then I don't think I want to have the arm. I think I just want to have the arms like um just like this. You see that back elbow. And man, the feet are taking off. They're like they're running off. Maybe the breasts are like really dragging like this. Really stretching out. Yeah, we'll have to work on that a little as well. Okay. It's just I'm kind of just roughing in my idea at this point. And I'm not sure about the feet. I mean, I know, maybe this back foot would be here and maybe this one might be pushing off now. But the feet are going to be so fast that will most definitely have to change. Maybe this could be, since he's squashed and changing shapes, maybe this could be like, passing position. That's his back foot. And they just came down. So maybe the hair drags a little. And I mean, we could close the eyes, kind of drag the nose. I think I want to leave the eyes open for now. We can always close them later. If you don't like something, just change it. Okay, let's get one more. I just kind of want to get this in here just so I can kind of see how it's feeling. Maybe the upper lids are really like getting caught by that wind, right? Like dragging. Ooh. Okay. All right, let's turn off onion skinning and just kind of flip through our key poses. So I haven't done any timing yet, okay? I'm just trying to get my drawings in. Hits with the bat, throws the bat away. So maybe let's get the bat in here. It's kind of a visual reminder for what's going on over here. Okay, the bat's flying away. And they run off screen. Okay, so now that I have this, I want to go in and try to figure out how they're going to hit right in through here. And that might change my golden poses, okay? So let's come in here. I'm just going to insert a key, and it's going to hold frame 1 down. Okay, so now we're holding this first frame for 2 frames. And I'm just going to start drawing on frame 2, just trying to get this animated, okay? I'm going to have him come down, so maybe the hair will drag. And it's okay to have it really loose and rough like this, okay? You can really start to feel what's going on if you just stay loose. And then you're not committed to your drawing so much that you're afraid to go back and change it. So this bat, maybe the bat, you know, is kind of dragging and following this arc right here. Like, you know, maybe there's some motion lines and they're really coming down. Okay, maybe that foot, maybe this foot is kicking out like this before it plants on the ground. Okay, and then bam. Okay, so I think I want something in here. My next drawing, I'm going to insert a frame, and maybe this is the reverse of that. See, like, so this one goes this direction. Now this one's coming back this direction. I'm gonna get a change in shape. Okay. So maybe, yeah, maybe this is right where the bat hits the ball. So maybe the ball is like squished on here. And I haven't even started with timing yet. Okay. Just working on my drawings. This foot, maybe it's planted right here. And this back foot, I'm gonna try to get it. Bam, maybe it's turning out like this and then up. Okay, see how that heel comes off the ground? Smack. You know, maybe the back, you know, it's coming around like this, right? So maybe you see some of it, you know, kind of these motion lines, just to kind of sell that. Bam, and then maybe it's smack. You know, it's it like this. Maybe you see that arm, you know, and he's like, yeah. Maybe they're looking at the ball. Bam. Okay. Just quickly get that hair in. Bam. And I feel like I need another drawing in between here. Bam. Okay, so I think I might make this one. Oops, that's after that. Let's undo that. In between 3 and 4, I'm gonna do another drawing where they're like, you know, maybe leaned forward and then they come into this. Bam. I don't know. This might not work. Maybe this one's more of a profile, but like the bat is like out here, but since it's coming around, I still want to have some curve in it because it's a cartoony animation. So maybe his arms are straight like this. Bam, and the ball's flying out. Flying off screen like this. Crack. You know, maybe I want this just more straight. Just slight curve. Bam. And then comes around. Okay, so see how the back got longer? I'm just going to chop it off. Bam. Okay. So maybe this is a profile. Okay. And the hair swooping around, and maybe the hat's kind of dragging. Bam. Okay. And since the body's coming around, maybe the boobies are like that. Okay. Turn off onion scanning and crack. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing this for a little while. Like I notice, I think I want them to start up and kind of settle into this first pose. So what I might do is select everything and move it down a frame. Go to frame 1, and I have a hotkey set for create blank drawing. Okay, it's under cells, Control L. So if I go to my first frame, because there's nothing there now. There's not even a blank keyframe or anything. Hit Control L. See how it created a blank frame and it auto renumbered it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw over, but like I kind of want them a little more like vertical. Okay, and they're gonna kind of squish down, and at the same time I'm gonna move them up. Okay, so if I turn on onion skinning, yeah, that's what I want. Kind of this moment before my key pose, okay? So now this is like my starting pose at 1. And I'm gonna ease into this one right here. And maybe I'm just guessing, but let's try and put it at 9. I'm gonna ease into that, okay? And maybe the bat, let's turn on onion skinning, and I might draw over the bat, draw the hands, and then maybe the bat, oops, is like over here. I'm not meaning to scale it. I just wanted to rotate. Yeah, do you see that? Okay, and then I can put the hands in. And then you could even, you could do something like, where they kind of, ooh, and then, maybe the mouth is closed a little more, and then, it opens. And they, get that booty out there. Okay. And maybe the legs up here. I mean, you could put the leg wherever you want. I'm just going to start it out there and then go down. And maybe as I'm doing my in-betweens in here, I might do like a breakdown where it kicks the foot out and pulls it back into this pose, okay? And like the boobies hanging down, I'm just going to leave that for like secondary. I'm just going to do that later. And then when he gets down into here, I think I want to have him like twirl the bat above his head slightly. So I'm going to just mark this as hold. And maybe, I don't know, let's just try 1 second. So what is, that would put it at 33. So hold to 33. And we'll see if that works out. That might not work out. We might have to redo that. But that will be when we start doing the timing. Okay. So as I'm working, I'm just going through seeing what might be fun. You know, drag that hair, those eyebrows in there. You know, maybe this is where the ball is coming in, like coming in real fast. Right. Okay. So if I hit play, boom, because it's all in ones and I'm just getting my drawings in. Okay, so now I think I'm kind of happy with this. I might go ahead and do a few more, like, just to kind of work out my idea. Like, I know, boom, after this one, I want to have, like, you know, something in here where maybe his head's turned away, but the bat, you know, it's already like maybe up here, you know, it's already like swinging around, like it's gonna do something like that. Okay. So I'm just trying to sell this idea that this is a real fast motion, and you know, maybe that's like that. Maybe you see part of that cheek, part of his butt, maybe their butt. Okay. Bam. And when he throws the bat, what I'm going to do is create a new column, and wherever this drawing right here ends up, that's where I'll probably start drawing the bat, like being thrown away, like out of his hands. Okay. So bam. Okay, so now that this is done, I am going to go in and just do some rough timing. Okay, so we did our golden poses. We added a few breakdowns, and like, you know, I think I need to work out before we move on how exactly they get up into this pose. Okay, so maybe let me just show you how I might work this out. Okay, I could, like, you know, do that reverse idea again, but I'm just gonna go straight up into this, and maybe, you know, maybe he's brought that bat around with just this hand, and maybe that other hand is like coming around and it's gonna come up into this pose. Do you see that? Or it could come over the top. Yeah, let's just leave it like that. And I think I want to see his face right here. You know, he just hit the best home run of his life, of their life. Okay. Maybe like that. Okay. And like right in here, this is where he like throws the bat, right? Where they throw the bat. That's fine. But like here, I might need to add a drawing. Okay, I'm just breaking it down little by little. So here, I think I want to have, no, I think I want to still have him back like this. And this is a great time. See, I can move these drawings around without messing up my whole animation. You know, bam, it's gonna come up. into this. And then, maybe this foot, maybe it's down like this, contact. I might need to speed this up a little as far as the leg rotations, but we'll just see if this works. And then I kind of want to get the hands just kind of tucked in like this. I think that'd be funny. And, since he's coming down, the nose is going to drag. Maybe the hair drags. You know what? What if we bounce the hair like it's a wig? Like it's... We can do the same with the hat. Well, the hair comes off, and then boom, it lands on his head, and then zzz, boom, he runs off. Okay. Okay, that's feeling pretty good. So let's see. Smack. Yay. Whoa. Okay, so now I would just choose a part to kind of work on. Oh, before we do that, okay, let's do in a rough timing. So, let's say we said we're going to put that on 9, that second drawing right there, 9, and then we're going to hold it to give him time to troll the bat down to 33, okay? But I'm not set on this. And then maybe ones. I'm just going to hold that for 1 frame, maybe. 1 frame, 1 frame, and then let's hold this one for a few frames. Okay, we'll hold it for 8 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Crack. And then he's going to come up into this. Okay. And I might need to give myself time to get up into that. Crack. And then he's going to come up. So let's give ourselves a few frames to get up into this. Maybe hold that and just see what it feels like. And then contact on 2. And then squish down. And then let's just add some frames. And we'll add some frames at the end. Okay, let's hit play. Just see what it feels like. Okay, let me move my stop marker up. Okay, I'm just trying to imagine in my head. Bam. Okay, so let's try and set this on 2s and see if that makes a difference. Okay, yeah, that's way too slow, so I'm going to take out some frames. So this is where I would just start playing with timing, okay? Rack. Okay, so I might need some more frames, yeah, to settle into this pose. So let's add a few more. Okay, do you feel how it's kind of choppy? And so what I'm going to do now is go in and add some more drawings and try to smooth it out. So like from 1 to 9, let's auto renumber everything so our frames match our drawings. 1 and 9. So, we could go... This is where we would get into in-betweening and like timing spacing chart, okay? So I could do something like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay. So what that might look like is 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. So 1, 2 would be halfway. Okay. So this is going to be halfway. And we could have different timing on the bat. Let's say we want it there faster. So let's just get this bat almost all the way where it needs to be. Okay. Okay, he's coming down, and maybe this is where, like, you know, this foot could start to kick out right here. Then 1, 2, 3. Okay. And maybe this is, you know, this foot kind of kicks out a little more. And the bat is pretty much right where it needs to be. 1, 3, and then 5. Okay. I'm just showing you how, like, you know, I might kind of break this down, and maybe this foot is coming up. Okay, and then 7. 7 in here. Okay, I'm just trying to get this mostly on 2s, but it's just this part. Like, I wouldn't spend this much time on just this section right now. I would go through and work on my key poses first and make sure, like, I'm super happy with those. Because this, I already have it kind of in my head. I've written it down, and so I can always come back to this. Okay, do you feel that? Comes down, the bat gets there a little sooner. You know, and this is where you could, like, you know, kind of drag that hair. And maybe, you know, you could drag the boobies. Okay, maybe they flip out. Maybe, and then maybe they settle. Okay, so let's auto renumber this. I hope that makes sense. Do you see that? So in between here, 9 and 33, this is where I can, like, you know, twirl the bat. And, you know, if I want to keep the lines alive, you know, I could trace over him over and over. But I think what I'm going to do is go on 2s, set a blank drawing, copy, paste. Okay. And then I'm just gonna move this bat like this, scale it, and then go to 13, insert a blank drawing. Okay, and this time I'm going to take 9. Okay, that way I can get, like, maybe the bat, you know, kind of more like coming towards us, like foreshortened. Okay, insert a frame. Let's go to 9. And like I said, you could redraw him over and over. I'm just going to copy him like this. Okay, and maybe 17 is back to 9. So I'm going to copy 9 and paste it at 13 or 17. Let's auto renumber just so we can stay on track. There we go. There you go. Just feel how it, like, woo, woo, woo. And so we could do another loop of that if we wanted, right? Like, and if you need to, you could come in here and say, okay, I want the tip to go on, you know, the tip of the bat to follow this oval. Or, you know, if you want a bigger, woo, 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 you know, like, you could do a slanted oval like that the tip follows. I was just kind of eyeballing it, just a small circle right there, about like this. Okay. And then, you know, if you wanted to, as he comes up into that, like at 5, you know, we could start that motion a little sooner. Okay. Feel that? The bat just kind of started slightly sooner. Okay. So now, let's see. Bam. Okay. So now I would work out like between my key poses, like, okay, boom, here. I know I want him to settle into this drawing at 41. And so let's go to 39. And I'm just going to do a drawing that kind of favors this pose. Okay. And the bat. Let's leave the arms off. Because I want the bat to get here way sooner, like this. I'm just looking at the bat. Bam. Okay. Let's feel what that feels like. Bam. Okay, I still feel like I need a drawing in here. So maybe let's just go back to 1s. Just get something. You know, we might need something like this. And sometimes it's trial and error. Let's feel that. That feels better. Boom. Smack. I'm gonna take out a drawing there. Yeah. I like that. Quick, snappy. Because we can cushion out of this. Out of this drawing, we can come like, you know, like he's gonna start coming up out of this. So like at, you know, maybe 42, we could anticipate down. I think I'm just gonna have him just shooting straight up into this. You know, maybe this is like more of a profile. His hair's dragging. Okay, the bat. Maybe this arm has, you know, has that bat. Maybe this one let go of it. Is that right? Let's see. That leg in there. He's pushing off. So maybe this foot's like that. Okay. Do you feel that little Okay, I have too many keys in here. So I'm just gonna take out some keys and put it on 2s. If in doubt, put it on 2s and see how it feels. Okay, I still want him to get up there faster. Yeah. Okay, and like here we can do the same thing as ease in, ease out. It's a powerful tool. Okay, like in between here, we could go 46. I just added a drawing in here. We could go, you know, up into this. Actually, I don't want it there. Let me undo that. My bad. Comes up. Ah. Ah, that was right. Okay. Sometimes I get lost here. Let's auto renumber. That looks better. That helps me stay on track. So now I can ease up into this pose, okay? So I'm just gonna do the body and just show you what I mean. Like, boom. Now the bat, he's that momentum of the bats coming around to throw it. And maybe this is where like, he threw it. We'll see. We might need to change that. Okay, we're just playing with the timing. Switching between ones, twos, threes, just seeing what feels right. Like I know I want him to stay up and do this with his legs. So I'm definitely going to need more time in here. You know, he comes up and maybe, maybe this leg is already like run over. And then let's add another drawing in here before he comes down. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly do the body and then get the foot in here, and maybe this foot's out here. And so that would switch these legs around. Okay. Okay. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. And the same with here. He lands, okay, boom, and he's gonna start running, but I'm going to, you guessed it, ease out into that. So I'm gonna go to 56, and his head's gonna stay where it is, but here goes his hips. He is gonna chug along. Okay, we could drag the hat. Get a smile in here. Okay, get his arms up like this. Okay, I'm just seeing what's working. And whoop, whoop, I'm gonna leave the legs off for now. Okay. So in between these two, the ones I just made, I'm gonna do another drawing. Okay. And I'm gonna put it on twos. Okay. Okay, that's where his face is. And then whoop, whoop. Let's get this on twos and see, since we're working on that section, let's go set a stop marker or start. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so as he comes up, I notice, his nose. I want to drag this nose. And then maybe the nose is still dragging. And then, this is where it starts to come up. Yeah. Since he's coming down, maybe his nose comes up. Sometimes it doesn't work out and you just have to erase it. redo it. Go. It depends on how floppy you want his nose, but I want it a little more floppy. Floppy than that. Okay, so like I said with the bat, once I get this down, smack, the bat's gonna come across and then he's gonna start throwing it right in here at 57. So let's create a new tunes raster level and we'll call this bat. Okay, we'll get our pencil and 45, so 48. Let's make sure we're auto renumbered. Let's lock our grid and our character. And boom, right in here. What is going on? Oh, I didn't draw the bat yet. Okay. Let's throw the bat. We'll go back to 48 and delete it. Okay. So he's got the bat in his hand. Boom. He throws it. Maybe. Woo. Maybe it does that. And I'm just going to do the bat on ones. So we'll come in here. You could copy and paste, but what I'm going to do is as it flies along, I'm just going to draw it. I think it helps it feel more alive. And if this, see, here's the bat. And it's flipping like this. So maybe maybe it's got like this. Maybe it flips across the sky like this. And let's cut, edit, copy. Actually, let's create a blank drawing and copy the bat over here and paste it and just rotate it. Okay, now let's just hit play. Whee! Zip! Okay, it flies off really fast. Let's try that on twos and see how it feels. Yeah. I like that first one. Yeah, maybe I could in between the bat. I don't know. I kind of like it like that. Okay, so the next thing I would want to work out is getting this running in the air. I feel like I need more frames in here. Okay. So what I think what I would do is insert some frames in here and push down the bat level so it doesn't interfere with that. Get something like this. This is gonna, it might require me to change some of the feet like this one. Okay, do you feel that? Woo, woo, woo. He's running. Okay, so at this point, what I would do is go in and really start looking at like, different parts and how it's moving. Like, like the boobies. You know, they can move at different times. This one could flop out and then come settle back a little. Maybe this one, you know, as he comes forward, maybe they drag like this. Ooh, and then they zing, come back like this. And then, you know, maybe you see them flying around and then here they come. Then they go back. You know, right here, maybe they're still coming around. Okay, and one other thing I might do is I might come back to the grid, and if we look at the brush, we can come down here. I think a little head's in the way. So we can change the alpha down. Okay, kind of low, so you kind of barely see the grid. And then we can make, I'm going to rename this column B for bat. And this one's CHR for character. Okay, so we can come in here and create a new raster level, and we'll call this a new tunes raster level. Hit OK. And I'm just going to get the pencil and start drawing like, you know, something like this. You know, and maybe it says, you know, animate or cartoon animation and animate with Tony tunes. Okay, and then I might say, okay, here's some bushes back here, and maybe there's some, you know, trees and bushes back here. Let's just kind of color it in. Just keep it loose and fun. There's no need to get super detailed. Just have fun. Maybe right here is where the home plate is. Maybe there's some, you know, those chalk lines that home plates have. And then we could hold this all the way down through our whole animation. And I'm going to drop it behind the grid. Okay, we'll call this BG for background. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bump the opacity down. Okay, let's go to frame 1 and hit play. Sweet. So that's our little character hitting swinging a bat and hitting a ball. So what I'm going to do is go in here and kind of clean up some of these key poses first and make some adjustments, you know, kind of erase some things, make some of the lines thicker, you know, draw our face. Like I'm going to go in here. Oops, that's on the background. Make sure you're on your character layer. So like in here, I'm going to color in the mouth. You know, make sure I get that expression. Bam. You know, and like right in here, I might close the eyes. You know, and then when they get up here, boom, then they pop open. That might be kind of fun. You know, and then things like this. like they're coming up right here. Do you feel that up? So the hair would drag down like this and then pop. They pop up, and so now the hair, let's get it up here. Okay, and like right here, I think the hair would still be up here, maybe starting to come down. Okay. Oh, and see, I left the arms off, so, maybe this arm. Yeah, there we go. And then right here, the arms, I left the arms off. They're gonna tuck up and back and zoom. Okay, so get out there, get drawing, get animating, and if you have any questions, just email me. I hope you had fun with this little tutorial. Until next time, happy animating, and I'll talk to you later.